Hello and welcome back to the Angelic Portal Guided Meditation series. This is guided meditation number 10. We'll start in about 15 to 20 seconds. In the meantime, I'd ask you to get comfortable in a seat with your feet firmly planted on the ground or seated in the lotus position, if that is your preference. Lying on your bed is another option. Whichever position you choose is fine, and this will take around 30 minutes. So get yourself comfortable. I'm going to count from 1 to 10. When I get to 10, we'll officially start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your eyes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we're going to start by relaxing the body. Put your attention on your left leg. I'll get you to relax the toes and the foot. Relax from your ankle up to your knee. Focusing on your hamstring and thigh, and relax that for me also. Let go of all of the tension. Feel the tingling sensations perhaps in your left toes. That's fantastic. Your leg, allow it to be nice and relaxed. We'll do the same with the right leg, placing your attention on your right toes and your foot, relaxing from your ankle all the way to your knee and continuing up your leg, relaxing your thigh as well as your hamstring in the process. Let that leg completely relax. That's the way. Both legs nice and comfortable. Draw the attention now to the buttocks and the groin area. I'd like you to relax those areas as well. Just no tension, nice and relaxed. Beautiful. Drawing your attention to the stomach muscles. Let all of the tension go from the stomach. That's it. And bringing your attention to the chest and the shoulders next. We want to relax the body in those locations. So to do that, let's relax the abdomen, chest, and shoulders, allowing them to completely release. Carrying the weight on the world, or of the world, on our shoulders, it's not something we want to do. So relax your shoulders as if someone has gently placed their hands on them. That's great. Same thing with your back. All of the muscle groups starting from the base of the spine and moving all the way up. Feel the body sinking into the ground. Let all of the tension dissolve. Okay, let's relax your arms. Focus your attention on your left hand and relax your fingers. Relax your hand all the way up your arm to your shoulder. You may feel tingling in your left fingers as you do so. That's perfectly okay. Bring your attention to your right hand and let's do the same. Relax your fingers and relax your hand all the way up your right arm to your shoulders. That's it. Let go of all the tension. Let's focus on the face. Let your jaw release. Feel your eyes soften and release any tension between the eyes and your forehead. Let all of the tension go. Fabulous. I'm going to put you into a deeper relaxed state. So I'm going to count from 1 to 10 again. I just want you to go a little bit deeper with every number. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relaxing deeper and deeper into relaxation. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's wonderful. Okay, so in front of you, I want you to see the winding pathway. You're familiar with the colors that it has, and see the trees on both sides. And go walk on that for me, taking in as much detail as you can. Up ahead, there is an angelic portal. It is white. Little traces of gold and silver are visible from the distance. And as you're walking towards it, maybe notice any birds or any small little animals, maybe a squirrel or something like that. That's it. And looking ahead, you can see the angelic guide standing next to the angelic portal. So as you get closer, say a nice hello to the angel who's waiting here for you. You can feel the unconditional love that the angel has for you. That's it. And we're going to follow the angel guide into the portal now. So as we do that and enter following the angel, notice that there is quite a bit of gold and silver shimmering around as you walk through the portal and out onto the grass of the angelic portal home world. Okay, so you're standing on the grass looking ahead, and you can see the lake. The mountain range is noticeable behind that. On the right hand side of the lake, you'll notice your own personal home. A little further around the lake from there, you'll notice the White Room portal. We do have new additional constructions, 2 of them in fact, that are visible today. Remember that on your last visit here, you were introduced to the ambassadors, the 2 ambassadors, one being the angelic ambassador and the other one an extraterrestrial ambassador. They have their own homes in the angelic portal on the other side of the lake to your own. So you can see them from here. If you can pay attention to those homes from a distance, you'll be able to see the outline and shape of them. So do that for me now, see them in detail. Brilliant. Okay, if you look above, if you look straight above you, you'll notice that there's 2 orbs in the sky, and one's a blue and one's a red one. That simply means the ambassadors are in orb form at the moment. So let's head over to the water's edge whilst they're up there and have a look at what's in the water. I do like to do that. Actually, if you notice, the 2 orbs are getting a little lower now, so they're heading in the direction of the homes. But looking back at the water, it looks very clear. It's a magnificent color of blue. You can actually see the turtle is still visible. It looks very content. It's going to be a very interesting day today for you. There is a lot to observe and discuss. But before we get into that though, notice the orbs that have flickered now are standing on the water's edge in front of their homes, because it is now the ambassadors in physical form that are visible. So that's why we know that. So give them a little wave. It's great to see them. Also notice that the angels have stayed in the angelic portal since the last visit. That's fantastic. They're positioned a little further around the lake from the ambassadors, so let's acknowledge them. As always, it's fantastic that they're present. They contribute a lot of work to what it is we do every time we come here. The ambassadors have wandered over to say hello to you in physical form now. I'll give you 30 seconds or so to exchange pleasantries with them. By doing so, you are giving the angels, you're managing the energy time to regulate that energy to ensure the best form of communication is possible between yourself and the ambassadors. Perhaps you can use this opportunity to inquire about how their homes were built and whether they were happy with the appearance. I'll give you a few moments to have a little conversation. That's great. Good job. Notice the energy of both ambassadors is very high, and that it is loving energy that they are radiating. It is beautiful to see. So, standing on the grass with the ambassadors, I want you to turn around and look around the lake. Turn your attention to your own home. What I'm going to ask you to do is follow the angel guide, and we'll head over towards that location. The two ambassadors are going to stay where they are for the moment, and we'll just walk around the water's edge. As you do that, actually notice there appears to be a few crystals that seem to have multiplied since our last visit. Very interesting. It appears as though with every visit their appearance is becoming more and more obvious. So just keep walking for me, however, as we follow the angel. The home is getting closer, and as you see that taking shape, notice the trees are lovely today. There seems to be some really tall trees visible amongst the smaller ones. It really is incredible to notice. Okay, arriving at your home, just go straight up to the front door, and as you go inside, if you could go in to the living room for me. From there, I'll ask you just to go straight to the sliding door and open it, and go out onto the balcony and face the lake. Take in as much of the view as possible. As you do that, you'll notice that the two ambassadors are now standing in front of their homes at the opposite side of the lake. I'll ask you to take a seat on your balcony for me. Make sure you can see what's going on the other side of the water. As you know, when we did arrive the angelic portal today, when we arrived, the ambassadors were in orb form before later flickering in to physical form. As a result, there are obviously no orbs visible. That's about to change, however, because I'm going to invite, under the instructions of the angels, 3 new orbs to descend from above us, from the beautiful blue sky. Firstly, there is another blue orb, a red one, and a green one. All 3 are now entering your viewpoint. I want you to watch as the 3 orbs descend in front of you. They'll hover above the water, as is the custom, and line up next to each other. To set the scene, you can sense that the 5 angels on the other side of the lake are energetically ensuring that your energy remains balanced. You know that these 3 orbs could flicker into physical form. That's something they could do easily, but they will not do this at the moment. Instead, they'll just hover a few meters above or a few yards above the water. They obviously shimmered into the angelic portal from their own white room. That is how they arrived here. As has previously been mentioned to you, all orbs have their own consciousness within them. This means, therefore, that our visiting 3 orbs have that also. So what we're going to do is talk about the difference now between the blue, the red, and the green orbs in a bit more detail. So go ahead and make sure you're in your seat on the balcony. Make sure it's nice and comfortable as we begin that conversation. Incidentally, watch the water sparkle in the sunlight. Did you notice that? What a glorious sight. So let's start the conversation with the green orb. Just like the other 2 orbs that are hovering above the water, the consciousness that is inside the green orb is actually part of the Supreme Creator. In fact, at this point, let us be clear that for every orb that exists in all of the dimensions, in all of the universes, the same consciousness is present in each one of them and is observing what's taking place from its own personal viewpoint. So from that point of view, there's really no difference between the consciousness of any orb, including your own. What that means is the consciousness that is you It is also the same consciousness that is me, and from that point of view, the same consciousness of the three orbs is also a duplicate, which is amazing. The five angels and the two ambassadors, their consciousness is also the same as everyone else's. So we're all an aspect of the Supreme Creator, and that makes us all eternal beings. Every piece of consciousness, if we want to use that term, is actually a part of the Supreme Creator vibrating at a different frequency. It is this vibration that is unique for every orb. As the frequencies differ for every orb, that means the signals that are attracted also differ. So let us break it down for you a little more. I'm going to ask the green orb to descend onto the lake. And in the process of that happening, I want you to notice the water freeze, and the orb will land on ice. I'm going to ask the green orb to flicker for me, and it's going to take the shape of an energy form, an energy body, and it'll appear in a human form. So let's watch that happen. See a person standing on ice in the middle of the lake. Again, this energy has been invited by the angels to help explain a concept to you. This energy works in with the angels. That's why it has been chosen. So if we look at this person, I want you to imagine it being a man, and the man has his own personality. So that's quite easy to imagine. A man standing on the lake with his own unique personality. Call out to him and give him a little wave, please. Notice that he'll wave back and shout hello back to you. So that's nice. If you can do that for me. So what we're looking at, what we firstly have is a green orb who has flickered into human form. The consciousness that is looking out of his eyes is part of the Supreme Creator. We call this a fractal of the Supreme Creator by definition. You have the same consciousness looking out of yours, also the exact same one. For every orb, the Supreme Creator is the consciousness that observes from it. And what this consciousness is a witness. It observes and records. Based on everything that the green orb has seen or felt since it was formed as an individual orb, the vibration has changed over time. And the consciousness that is looking out of the eyes of the 80-year-old man is therefore an eternal being. It essentially is God. In almost all cases, this consciousness will not be aware of where it came from. Okay, that's the green orb we're referring to. It will not be aware of where it came from if it is in a green orb. Okay, it'll be veiled from knowing its true origin typically. It's done deliberately so that the experience of duality can occur. There's no point in having preconceptions or anything like that. So the green orbs are veiled from knowing their true nature. So what happens is the green orb consciousness will simply identify with the body instead, and it won't notice signals because of the vibration. It simply believes that the signals are one's own ideas that arise by choice. Okay, the consciousness, I suppose what I'm saying is, that looks out of the eyes of the physical body really has no idea of who it truly is, and it certainly cannot shimmer back to the white room at will because it's not in the vibration. So as a result, it is identified as being human. Elements of shimmering to happen or do happen in the dream state, but that all have to be explained another time. Dreaming is usually dismissed in humanity as being irrelevant, as you know. Not quite the case. No, the reason for thinking that there are multiple people on the planet lies in vibration. The unique vibration attracts the signals, which then brings in human signals, which are acted upon by the human body. The Supreme Creator Fractal watches out of the eyes of the person for the life it is watching. The signals that are received tell us we are the body and not the consciousness looking out of it. So that is what deepens the experience. The process will repeat itself ultimately with incarnations into future lives. All the time the vibrations are attracting the signals, and it appears as if it's free will. The only difference between any human orb on the planet is really that of vibration. The vibration of the orb attracts different signals. It appears as though we're all separate to each other with our own unique personalities, because each orb is attracting different signals. That's why every human appears to be different, with different tastes, different desires. It's because the vibration in every orb is different from each other. So, again, what's really happening is that the bodies of each of us are attracting signals based on our own unique vibrations. It's the vibration that creates the illusion of separation. The observer, which is another name for the fractal of the Supreme Creator, witnesses and records what plays out in each physical body. There is not any second consciousness that exists anywhere in the universe, actually. It's all the exact same one. So, let's take a break for a moment. Stand up, and as you do, you'll notice the blue orb and the red orb descend onto the ice, which is formed below on the water's surface. I want you to notice the blue orb has taken physical form now, into an angelic form, and the red orb has done the same and has taken the physical appearance of a loving, friendly extraterrestrial. So take a moment to deepen your visual cues. Have a look at your right and notice the mountaintops. See a little snow up there. Notice the trees for me. Over to the left, see a fish jumping out of the water. See it make a big splash. Okay, so sit down again and let's continue. So there's now three physical forms which have come from the three orbs flickering into this form. Okay, in front of you, you can see three separate entities. So again, what the angels are saying to you is that the consciousness that is looking out of each one of the three bodies is the exact same one. It is the Supreme Creator. The Supreme Creator is recording what is happening, every bit of data that it can from the particular viewpoint of each one of them. I just want you to watch all three physical forms talk to each other. They're going to do that for you. You can't hear what they're saying, just notice them speaking. So you've got the human, the angel, and the extraterrestrial. Again, what's looking out of the eyes of each of them is the same consciousness. Okay, it's the Supreme Creator. So if that's the case, the Supreme Creator is actually just talking to itself. Okay, the answer to that is yes, that's what's happening. But why would the Supreme Creator want to do that? The answer really is just to learn about itself, to feel emotion and to see what various forms of separation feel like by totally immersing into the worlds of duality and separation. However, the green orb typically doesn't know this. In this particular case, the green orb does know this because it's been invited by the angels and has been made aware of this. So that's a little bit different. But typically, in the third dimension of Earth, it is very uncommon to have this insight. Most green orbs identify with being the body and think signals are actually their own thoughts. The blue and red orbs that have taken physical form, they do know this, however. So here's an example. You have a person named Steve. He lives 75 years of his life. When he dies, He will shimmer between being Steve and then return to being a green orb. Eventually Steve will pass away. The exact same green orb will materialize into another Earth timeline, where instead of it being Steve, it might look out of the eyes of a lady named Jill in its next life. Of course, there will be a time in between of which this will be explained in another guided meditation. Jill will pass away in due course, and then maybe a third incarnated life where Tim is born will then be observed by the exact same green orb. So the same green orb shimmers into the body of all three incarnations. And the consciousness within the orb, which is the Supreme Creator, is witnessing it all and recording it all. But again, there's that moment between incarnations that does exist. We'll explain that further down the track. Great. Certain vibrational consistencies would be at play in all three lives, attracting similar signals. So maybe the same positive viewpoints in certain topics, maybe the same negative viewpoints would exist across all three lifetimes. The blue orb and the red orb have the exact same process. The Supreme Creator looks out of the eyes of those entities. Also, the angels are indeed created by God. They receive signals based to do on what they receive. They are there to ensure that the Supreme Creator's wishes are carried out. There are different types of angels, each with their own vibration, who have their own unique vibration at that, and that in turn attracts different signals. So different angels will attract different signals based on their vibration. However, the consciousness that looks out of the angel body is actually the Supreme Creator. The alien worlds, or the extraterrestrial worlds, are not different, and they play out in the same manner. Not all worlds are like the Earth plane, and as a result there is a great deal of variety for the Supreme Creator to observe in all of the various orbs. So a question for you now is, which color orb resonates with you? The choices are the green orb, where you feel you've had multiple lives, or perhaps only one life, your current life, and you believe that aliens or extraterrestrials and angels are separate to you. If you feel that you can interact with angels, you're comfortable, you're familiar with them, and you're resonating with the blue orbs, you could be a blue orb if you can receive signals from the angels and talk to them. If you're feeling that you're coming from an extraterrestrial background where this planet doesn't really seem to be your home, perhaps being a red orb resonates with you. One of the objectives of today is to find which one resonates with you. If you're unsure, just go ahead and assume for the moment that you're the green orb. You'll be able to seek assistance on that topic later by directly asking your own personal guide in a future guided meditation. So keep sitting on the balcony, looking around. The angels are just balancing out the energy as we speak. Okay, so stand up for me. I'll thank the three physical manifestations who have helped us today and ask that they flicker back into orb form. So let's watch that happen. And as they do that, let's thank the angels for holding space for us today. Let's watch together as the orbs disappear from view directly above us, and in doing so leave behind the angels as well as the ambassadors, and they'll stay obviously in the angelic portal. I'll ask you to stand up and then go back in to your living room. If you can make the way or your way out of the front door and onto the grass, that would be terrific. So let's follow the angel guide back in the direction of the angelic portal exit. It's been a big session for you today with lots of challenging insights. These are what are needed for you to have a vibrational change into fifth dimensional consciousness. You've done ever so well today. It will build every time you do a guided meditation, and the concepts will absolutely make sense to you as we go along. So just accept that for what it is. As we walk, let's acknowledge the angels on the other side of the lake and give them a little wave for me if you can. We'll do the same perhaps to the ambassadors. It's going to be very exciting to actually build on today's concepts and to show you what we've discussed today in action. Again, the guided meditations are built on each other, and these concepts will be great building blocks for you when it comes time for direct perception. So as we get closer to the angelic portal exit, I'll get you to just follow the angel guide through the portal, noticing the gold and silver colors in the portal as you do so, and emerge for me onto the pathway. Thank you very much. I'll get you to thank the angelic guide for helping us today, and I'll ask you to bring your consciousness back into the room that you're doing your guided meditation from. I'm going to count from 10 to 1, and when I do that, you will awaken. Before I do that, if it is daytime, when you do awaken, you will be feeling nice and energized and ready to get on with the day. If it is nighttime and it's time for bed, then you'll be ready for a great night's sleep. So here we go, 10, 9, 8, moving your hands and feet from side to side. 7, 6, 5, 4, move your body. 3, 2, 1, opening your eyes. Fantastic. Take a few moments to just get your bearings. A glass of water is recommended, and I will look forward to our next visit, where the adventure will continue. Thank you very much.